Good morning. I I don't want to leave this morning. It's been nice. I slept upstairs, nice and cozy. Now it's time for a little bit of a quick breakfast. Oatmeal. And I want to show you something here, though. Oops. Listen. Can't really hear anything, can you? Except for the birds there. It's really nice. So the plan is going out that way. The road turns down like that, and then we turn left onto a paved road. I think it's a paved road. Um, really pretty, quiet. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to eat something real quick and then get a move on. So thank you once again, Marlene and Henry. That that was a lifesaver. That rain really came down hard last night, which is good for their fields and stuff. But it would have been, I would have probably still been cooped up in the tent because it's so cozy, cocoony. And now let's see what the day brings today. I think I got about 15 miles, maybe a little bit more if I'm feeling up to it. I got to time it according to state trust land because a lot of this is all private ranch land. So I'd rather just camp on the trust land without having to try and find somebody and ask permission, you know. So we're in this place called Long Canyon, appropriately named, because it is a pretty long canyon, going this way as well. What's interesting, too, is looking back there from the mesa that we came from yesterday, right up on the top there was a pretty good cell service. I mean, it was really fast and the signal was relatively strong. Throughout this whole canyon, which we're going to be walking all the way to Oklahoma for the next couple days, there's no cell service at all, which means nothing to me. You know, cell service, there was a couple times a few times in Nevada and Utah where I didn't have cell service for just about a week at a time. But the only reason why I kind of make note of it now is because one of our subscribers contacted me and said, hey, you know, when you're coming through this way, maybe I can come and give you some support. So that would be maybe today and tomorrow, which coincides with having no cell service. So if she does come, we're just going to have to happen chance cross each other here on the road. So if that happens, I'll let you know. You know, I've been pondering the size of these ranches out here. You know, Mr. Brown's is 2,500. That sounds like a big deal. But there's one up there on the bluff. It's like 60,000 acres at least. 60, something like that. And if you figure the size, so a section of land is 640 acres. And a section of land is 1 mile square. Not 1 square mile, but it's a mile on each side. So look at these other ranches, 60,000 acres. That's roughly what, 90 miles square. So you figure, 90, 90, 90, 90. So you figure that the square mileage of that ranch, if I'm calculating this right, is 8,100 square miles. What would you do with a spread that large? They obviously, well, they're back there. They obviously run a lot of cows out here, but figure that out too. If it's 60,000 acres, and let's say you get, you can run, let's say 1,000 cows. So one cow unit per 60 acres. Cow unit is considered a mama and a baby. So it's 2,000 head of cattle. And then do the math, how much profit is there in each head of cattle. It's a big business. All right, made it down the highway. Take a break here. And I'm either gonna have a snack. It's only been an hour and a half since I started. I either gonna have a snack or maybe I'll have lunch, I don't know. But I have this nice windbreak here. It's very nice of them to park this grader here to keep me protected from the wind. It's been pretty tough wind. It's been crosswind, headwind. But when I turn on the highway, I think it's going to be mostly a cross tailwind, so that'll be helpful. So again, I'll take a break here for a bit and move on. Interesting, I'm tired. Even being in that cozy place, I'm tired. What are we looking at here? Looks like a river, huh? Nothing in it? I guess it's appropriately named the Dry Cimarron River. But take a look at this actually. Let's go over here. There's actually water in the Dry Cimarron River. That's about it. Well, just as he said, did you catch what I said? Well, came across this solar well here. Had to flip the switch, turn it on, just like he said, and got the pipe going. And I tasted it right after it was coming in. It was a lot of iron. So I let it run for a few minutes, and then I filled up the bottle. So I got a gallon of water now. I'm not going to fill up the 5th liter, but after I let that water run, it tasted okay. It's got still a little bit of there's something in it, but I don't know. So hopefully somebody doesn't find me dead on the road today, because I'm not filtering it. There's that luscious sound of water flowing that I always like. I take a little break either again here, maybe a little bit down, probably another quarter mile down. Supposedly there's a little polygon of cell service. There hasn't been any on this whole section. In fact, there hasn't been any since yesterday afternoon when I came down off the mesa. All right, got my water. Let's go and turn the switch off. Okay. It's off. All right, continue our march down New Mexico State Highway 456. That away. But before we do, here's a newfangled cheater thing. I've never seen one that's all cast iron like this. So basically what you do is, let me get this water over here. I don't know if I can do this with one hand. Okay, here we go. Let's see. So you get this up here like this, pull down, take the pin out, let go. And then push back on that. Drop. Can't see much the way I'm doing this, huh? And then bring this back up. So, there we go. Get it down there so it stays. And then bring the pin in. And I need 2 hands, so I'm going to put the pin back in and we're all done. Well, you know, look at this. Sometimes you, when you're walking around down the road, you find rewards. This is a nice cold body armor. You know what else I found along the road? That's Anita. Say hello to Anita.
Hi.
Long time. You've been with me since 2018, right?
Before that.
Oh. Yeah, so this is Anita. She's been like one of the first subscribers on the channel, and she just happened to be driving down the road, just happened to have one of these, and just happened to give it to me. So thank you very much.
You are more than welcome.
Yeah. We're like 30 miles, about 30 miles west of Oklahoma border, right?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. That's on this road where I've seen only 3 cars the whole day. And I was telling Anita when she pulled up, then I saw 3 cars in like 5 minutes. So we're going to stay here at the side of the road. I'm going to enjoy this and then, well, see what happens next. Right?
Right.
So here we are now over the, what do you call this? The dry Cimarron River's got water in it. But anyway, this is the bridge going over the dry Cimarron River. We're still in New Mexico, and they call this a through truss bridge, right?
Yeah, through truss.
Through truss bridge. And what's unique about a through truss? How do they build? They build it in sections.
Yeah, they build it in sections, and then they ship it out and put it together on site. So it weighs less.
Okay.
And then they put that asphalt for the driving surface last.
Oh.
Because that's heavy, and these roads coming in here wouldn't handle a bunch of heavy construction equipment.
And you'd say this bridge is about how old?
It looks pretty new.
Pretty new, huh? So there's your engineering lesson of the day. The through truss bridge on New Mexico 456 over the dry Cimarron River. Well, let's see what else we can find. So I haven't really seen that for a while, for the past couple weeks, or at least a week and a half, right? Paved road. But now, what's so special about this? This is Carrizozo Creek. Yeah, it's dry. But what's so special about it? That's what's special about it. Welcome to Oklahoma. So 2 days in New Mexico, or a day and a half. Now we're in Oklahoma. You know, it's always interesting going through these states. I mean, sure, it's a imaginary line, right? And actually the state line is, oops, won't break my ankle. Actually the state line is over here. But it's always an imaginary line. But there's something interesting about when you're crossing into a state that just makes that imaginary line become something that's, I don't know, something that's special, if you want to call it that. So, goodbye, New Mexico. Hello, Oklahoma. And yeah, I did limp into Oklahoma in the vehicle. And the reason, because it's going to be, I think, like 92, 94 tomorrow. And I ain't walking through that. So, welcome to Oklahoma. And let's see what flat Oklahoma has for us in store. Besides 92, 94, 96 degrees and humidity. Okay. All right, well, see where I leave. It's 3 days later. And like I said, Anita picked me up. We drive about 250 miles.
Yeah.
Went about 250 miles, scouted the route ahead because it's pretty barren. So we dropped some water jugs, and that got us as far as that'll get us as far as Alva. So stay tuned on this lake because it's a lot of nothing coming up. Wouldn't you say?
I would say so.
All right. And again, Anita, one of our subscribers, so if you see her in the comments, give her a thumbs up or tell her thanks and all that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
For the opportunity.
Sure. Okay. Been about an hour or so back on the trail here. Let me give you a quick look around here. So this is basically looking north to the Kansas border, almost the Kansas border. What you see right there is Black Mesa, and that's the highest point in Oklahoma. As we swing around west here, that's going to be the end of the Oklahoma Strip. And then down that way is going to be Texas. So what we're doing here is we're basically heading in easterly fashion and going to get into Boise City. Boise City. I was budgeting 2 days on this section, but I think it might actually be 1.5 days. Depends if I do a little bit of night hiking. The moon's going to be up till at least midnight, half moon, and the temperature temperature today is about 94. I think it's going to be 96 tomorrow. Eventually getting up to, I'm going to pass through Boise City and then 4 days into Guymon, and I'll be eventually getting up to about 100 degrees. But that's when I'll hit Guymon, and then I'll take a day off or 2 days off before heading on out and then making the next day off in Alva, which will be another week and a half to 2 weeks past Guymon. So let me tell you a little bit more about what happened these past few days. I'm going to sit down for a second out of the wind here. So to get the sequence back into logical sequence of events. So I was coming down out of Colorado, going through New Mexico there, and Anita had contacted me and said, "Hey, you want some help through part of Oklahoma? I can drive down and help you out and maybe even put some water out for you." So I said, "Okay." We texted and emailed back and forth, and then the original plan was I was going to get into Kenton, Oklahoma. But it turned out that she was able to get there. She got out to me a day early. So when you saw us first connect, I was in New Mexico, and I still had a day to go to get into Oklahoma. Day? Yeah, about a day to get into Oklahoma. So I ended up just getting in the car. We rode over to the border of New Mexico, Oklahoma, and camped out that night. And then what we did from there is we drove this route that I'm on right now. Because on the map it showed that's a road all the way through. But that's not the case. So we went as far as we could in our vehicle. But I'm still walking this route because it's easy on foot. And then we drove into Boise City. From Boise City, we scattered my route to Guymon. And I had to make a little adjustment there, so it's a good thing we did that. And then from Guymon, we went up to, drove up to Hooker, and then out to Beaver, and then Buffalo, and then partway to Alva. And then we turned around, and from there, there were 4 spots between Beaver and 4 spots between, it's all blurred. What did we do, Anita? We drove anyway, somewhere between Guymon and Boise City. We dropped 3 or 4 gallons of water along the way. And then we also dropped a gallon of water here in the middle of this section between here and Boise City. So we click that tomorrow and get through there. It might be tonight if I use my light. So that was a big help because those sections are going to be pretty tough, especially between Boise City and Guymon. It's like 60 miles, and yeah, there are some farmhouses there, but probably rely on them. But just to be a case, just to be safe, I would probably have to carry a couple gallons of water each time. So I'm all set now between here and Boise City and Guymon and Beaver and Buffalo, and then halfway to Alva, and then from there to Alva I'll be all set because that'll be a short 1 day's walk between the water drop and Alva, so I'll be okay. It's about another couple weeks to Alva and I'm all set. But the other thing I want to mention too is that it's a good thing that she came out this way, because as I'll show you a little bit later on, um, it's really, 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 really pretty country out here. Again, the camera might not do it the justice that you would see in person. And yes, there's a bunch of cows there looking at me. But when I get to the brow of the hill, I'll show you some more. But it's really, really, really pretty. It's almost kind of like the same place of the desert that I like so much, but even with a little bit more, I don't know, it feels kind of cozy, comfortable. That's the only way I can explain it right now. So I'm just following this cow path right here. Even though it's spelled Boise, it's Boise City, and then from there it'll be 4 days, or if I hoof it on down the line, it'll be 3.5 days in Guymon, where I'll take a day or two off before striking out to Alva. Alright, that's it. This is pretty country. This Cherokee Strip or the Oklahoma Strip, or, oh, no man's land. I got to give you a lesson on that too, but that'll be a little bit later on. This no man's land section of Oklahoma is pretty nice. So here's a little bit more of the view here. I've been just basically traveling cross country here for a little bit, just like the settlers did, you know. So anyway, looking north again. What I told you was Kansas. It's actually Colorado, and it's actually the conventional grasslands. Kansas is still a bit northeast right there. Anyway, the Colorado border is a little bit short of 8 miles right there. And I should have gotten up on the crest of the hill to show you the whole panorama, but you can just basically see for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles. Good morning, good morning. So I hiked into the night, got here about midnight, took my time yesterday, it was only 12 miles. And I started off later in the afternoon, so took a couple breaks in, and now I got my water last night over at the power pole over there. It was that one right there. So that one was easy to find because we just put it at the base, had a red tie stuck to it. And then after that, just came out here and rolled out the camp and made a short night of it. So It's going to be about 15 miles down into Boise City. I'll either stay in the park there or there's a roadside park at the other end of town. And then the next day, well, I've got 4 days after that to Guymon. Some of those days will be 20s. I don't know how I'm going to do that. Break them up, I suppose. And then there you have it. So it's just going to be road walking today, dirt roads. I think we're going to be passing the one of the branches of the Santa Fe Trail. So if that's anything to see, I'll show it to you. Otherwise, just dirt roads down into Guymon. So probably not a whole lot of filming today. And so in that case, let's get some breakfast and then get a move on. All right, I made a little stop here. This is the actual crossing of one of the branches of the Santa Fe Trail. I think it's a Cimarron branch. I don't know if that's what it's called. But anyway, we're looking northeasterly. You can't see any of the ruts, but here on the ground you can kind of get a sense of how they came through in that little indentation right there, up and over the hill, right through here. The only thing that you can really tell that there's something is going on here is that instead of having like a tall grass and everything, it's just a flat grass right here. And then as you look across the road, this is a little dirt road here, across the road, again, you can't really tell, but there is an indentation and there's a different sort of vegetation that follows a line basically up and over that hill. So it's really interesting to be out here and to just ponder, you know, yeah, I'm walking across America, but you know, I'm just doing it because of the Lord. But these guys, you know, they're bringing everything they had, wagons, horses, oxen, just bouncing along every day, making 10 to 15, maybe 20 miles at the very most through the day. You know, out there you might be able to see something. Let's see if we can zoom in. Right out there, out the middle of the horizon there. That could be part of it as well. So northwest Oklahoma here has got not only a history of no man's land, which I'll tell you about at some point, but also the history of the Santa Fe Trail. I never considered that on this walk, just like on the first walk, I'd be either going on or going over Santa Fe Trail. A walk through history. Sounds like a book title. So I've seen a few of those today, but those are, I think they're pumping gas out of the ground, and presumably the way it works is that the farmer, the landowner here, gets a royalty. But here's my question, and I'm questioning myself. What is the price I would pay for allowing that to be on my land? You can hear those things for at least a mile. They really, oh, well, I was actually listening to one that was a couple miles away. They're really loud. I kind of scratched my head and wonder if I was in a situation, I was a landowner, and they came to me, hey, can we pump out of your ground? If that was going to be in my land, what's the price that I would want before I would let that disturb the peace and serenity out here? Is it priceless? I don't know. Good morning, or almost afternoon, from Boise City. Stayed in the park last night, and I had to wait for the post office to open, so I had breakfast. Then got to the post office, and then had a long talk with the postmaster. Howdy, Tracy, if you're watching. And then what did I do? Went to the store. Now I'm getting out of town in the heat of the day. It seems to be the thing to do around here. Get out in the heat of the day. So it's going to be another long day of dirt roads with nothing around. Same thing tomorrow, and the same thing the next day, and pretty much the same thing the following day. Well, the following day will be on the blacktop in Guymon. So probably not a whole lot of stuff to show you today, but if there is, I'll show it to you. Well, this is kind of funny in a way. You know, yesterday, walking those dirt roads, I saw maybe 3 cars total, maybe 4. And I had to turn onto this route, just now turned onto this paved road. And in the past 20 minutes, I've seen, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've already seen 6 vehicles. It's like I'm in the big city now. The other thing I want to mention too is that nice people around here. When I was over at the store, grocery store, getting a few items to keep me going these next 4 days, I was sitting there drinking an orange juice, apple, banana, and lady came up to me and said, "Oh, you need some groceries, sir?" So I told her, "No, thank you very much." Explained what I was doing. And then when I walked down, was walking out of town, stopped in the Love's to get a quick cold drink. And as I was at the counter, guy walking out said, "You got enough water, sir?" So you guys, thank you very much out here. And like I've always told people, you know, before I left on my first walk, just about everyone to a T said, "Oh, you be careful, a lot of crazy people out there." And so far in these 3 walks, I've experienced only good people. I've always found it interesting on all these walks in these rural areas, how many abandoned houses there are. It's almost like the house is built for a couple of generations, and then instead of just keeping them going, they just move to another plot of land and build another house. Now, somebody else told me another theory, this is probably plausible, is that when one family farms the land for generations, and then there's nobody to keep up the farm, then other farmers come and buy the property. Well, those farmers have no use for the house, because they've got their own house. So they just let the house sit there, and then eventually it deteriorates, and over time, more often than not, it just kind of collapses in on itself. So I guess that's the more plausible one. But over here, I think this is a house that's still going. And here's another one. It's just a half-mile away. This one's on the edge of the prairie. Far, far away. All right, it's been about 16 miles. I think I'm gonna try and go another 4. I'll make it 20. And then tomorrow I think I'll go 4, extra 4, that'll make it about 20. And then the following day, if I can do it, I'll do 25 and get into Guymon a day early. Who knows? And the reason I'm trying to do that is because it's heating up to 100 here in a few days. So I'm trying to beat that. In the meantime, take a look at this here. If it was springtime, I think I'd almost be worried that's a tornado coming up, huh? But quite pretty. It's building up, but I think the winds aloft are cutting it off, so I don't think it's going to turn into anything. That's looking back to where we came from. Got some moon, so that's why I can push out another 4 or 5 tonight. And then on down the line we go. And here it comes. 7:08. 7:07 started peeking itself up. See how quickly it gets hot. Hi guys. Certainly a scorcher today, isn't it? Ooh-wee. Can I go swimming in your tanks there? No? All right, well, I found this shade here. Got here a little bit after noon. Nice abandoned property. Another one of those abandoned houses. It's about 2 o'clock now. Just been lazing around. I think I'll stay here another couple hours at least till it cools down. And it sounds like it's trying to thunderstorm. So we'll see what happens. So I've already gone past where I was going to camp tonight originally. I might try and go another 8 miles or so, and then that'll put me on another 20 for today. It's been pretty hot. And then that'll give me, I don't know, 25 into Guymon tomorrow. I doubt that's going to happen, but it'll get me closer anyway. All right, we'll take a nap. And let's see what happens the rest of the day. All right, it's just about 8:30. You can see a nice little sunset through the tree there. And thank you to whoever owns this abandoned house. Stayed here all afternoon. Now it's about 10 miles to another abandoned house. This one will be on the highway. So I'm definitely going to have to hide myself. And get out of there before the sun comes up. It's another nice night of hiking with the moon as our light. The fading glow of the sun sending us off. That's pretty. Wow, look at that. And saying goodbye to all that noise from that gas pump. All right. It's really sultry tonight. It's one of those nights where you can just basically wear very little. And the good thing too is there's no mosquitoes, so that's a nice thing. And there's a little bit of breeze, and the last of that, well, it's a lot oranger in person. So this might be the last clip for the day. Basically going down this way, I think about 6 miles on the dirt, and then 4 miles up on the pavement to the highway. And then tomorrow will be all pavement. Good morning from a little bit after dark 30. Surprisingly, I got up. And man, it's wet and sticky. Sleeping bag is just saturated. And my clothes are just soaking up the, even though they're wool and stuff, just soaking up the humidity. So it's just a road walk all the way into Guymon. It's so humid this morning. I mean, you can feel it as you're just walking through. It's almost like it's giving you a resistance. Just wait till that sun comes up. Oh boy. And it's supposed to be 100 degrees too. Relentless. I already had to deploy the shade. It looks like there's a bridge in about 5.5 miles. Hopefully it's conducive to just hanging out there all day. Taking a nap too. Well, that was a lifesaver. Murray and Melissa stopped on the side of the road. Said, "You need a ride?" So I can't pass that up in, oh gee, I think it's 97 with 90% humidity. I'm going to Walmart here. Get something to drink. Melting. But unlike the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz, not because of, certainly not because of water. Oh boy. So it's nice in the air conditioning there in Walmart. So now I got I think about another mile. I'm gonna stay here in Guymon for 3 days because it's heating up even hotter. And I'm going to shift my sleep schedule so that when I leave here, on Wednesday, I'll leave during the night to walk the 19 miles to Hooker, and I'll stay in their little park there during the day, then walk at night to Beaver. And I don't know where I'm going to stay. It's about 20 miles. And then I think it's 21 to Laverne. And I'll stay in the park there during the day. And then to Buffalo. It's about 20. Yeah, I really think I'm going to do all these 20s, right? And don't know where I'll stay there. And then it'll be a 2-day run, 45 miles, something like that, into Alva. And I'll take a couple days off there. So that's it for the next few days. Next time you see me, I'll be walking in the dark, probably. Uh, I've been here in Guymon for 3 days. Yeah, it feels really, really weird.